Hey Sim, got about a week left in September here. Sorry it's been a while since I've talked to you. Let me show you what's been going on. So, the good news out of all of this that came about is some of the things actually had some pretty good recycle value. So, if you remember, over here was the shed that had all the cars in it. So, each one of the cars, I got about $2,200 a piece for them from a recycle point of view because they were brand new. Everything could be recycled. So, I got a good chunk of change out of that. Each one of the mopeds, I got about $725 for each of them, and then they paid me about $10,000 for the building. All the metal, all the framing in the building was good, and the sheet metal on top was good. They couldn't do anything with the siding, but made a little bit of money off of that building as well. Potatoes out front are due. I need to be able to top those, and right now I can't buy any equipment and I can't lease any equipment, so I'm kind of screwed there. When they came out to take care of if you notice everything looks different. When they came out, so I had one company come out and take care of the greenhouses. I ended up getting about $5,000 a piece out of the greenhouses, the aluminum, lots of aluminum there that they could recycle. So I got about $5,000 a piece. This little building here, I think I got about 2,200 out of that building, and then the greenhouse that was sitting here. Luckily for me, or unluckily for me, I don't know which, but when they were tearing down this building, the crane that they brought in, some idiot backed it over here and it fell. Like the body of the crane fell across these two bunkers here, and the nose of the crane hit the back wall here on this bunker. So they ended up having to tear out these three bunkers, but they paid me for them, and I got like 18 grand a piece for these bunkers. Now, I didn't really want the bunkers anyway because I don't really like bunkers, but that gave me a huge chunk of change. I'm thinking about I might put, at least one bunker back in, but I don't know as of right now. But that was amazing that accident actually, and I don't know if they got subsidized from the county or the parish or exactly what, but I got 18,000 times 3 for those three bunkers right there. So almost 60 grand for those three bunkers. So that actually made me feel okay because I didn't know what I was going to do with those bunkers anyway. Got to keep all these buildings, and like I said, this building I had to tear down. So as of right now, I have gotten everything's certified. I have gotten my paperwork done. The one thing I can say around here, they're the government entities. It's like all the paperwork I turned in like on Tuesday and like Friday, it was all signed off and everything was in good order. So, here it is, the last day of the week, or last week of the month. Let me show you also what I did. So I had to move this police box over here. So it cost me $750 to have it moved, I think is what it was in total. But have it moved over here, so it's where it's supposed to be now. So that got signed off of like the first day. They send out a guy to actually do that. So that was pretty cool. Got that taken care of really fast. And all my paperwork came in today, and I did get a notification that went out to all the businesses saying that my social responsibilities have all been met, and that basically I'm not blacklisted anymore. So yeah, let's actually see if this is true or not. I don't know if it's true or not, but I'm kind of hoping it is. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to jump in the tractor here, and I'm kind of sad, dude. I'm sorry if you hear it in my voice, man. I know I try to stay chipper and everything, but man, I'm just kind of bummed. I feel like I lost my farm here. Hadn't even got started. I'm almost 2 months into this thing, and here it is. I don't know. Let's see here. Let's see if I can get out here. I really need a smaller vehicle to run around town. Running the tractor out here, they told me that driving the tractor isn't a big deal on the roads because it is a farming community. I just need to kind of watch my P's and Q's and give people the right-of-ways and stuff like that. Like that car right there, if it wants to turn, it actually has the right of way. I have to stop and let it go because the pedestrians and the automobiles have right of ways over the tractors. Didn't know that either. I'm glad I found that out. Also trying to keep my speed down coming down through here, man. I just don't want to get in trouble anymore. I cannot look for a $10,000 fine again. But here, let me pull into here real quick and let me show you one of the mistakes that I made here. I'll run over here. So over here is a little park, and so this little park here, if you look, this is actually a one-way. Now, I understand that's like no entrance, but I didn't understand why it was no entrance. I just thought maybe I was like going into a park. I said, "We see that car going right there? That's actually where it starts. That's the one-way right there." So you go in there, you go around, you come up behind these houses, and you come out over here by this little park. And I did not know that. Oh, there we go. See? Little park. Oh, like that right there. If any of those, you see how those two guys stopped immediately? Yeah. If that dude right there who's walking across the street, if they hadn't stopped for him, man, he could just call up the enforcement people and they'd be all over that. So you got to watch your P's and Q's around here, man. But anyway, this is a little park I got in trouble for. I come down here. I went down this road. They even said I ran into like the bench down there and that kind of stuff. And yeah, this is where I got my little fine from. And when I tried to jump the creek, it was down there. And this is the little field I drove across that I got in trouble for. Oh man, it was crazy. Let me see if I can get out of here. Anyway, I'm still venting. I'm sorry, brother. I don't mean to be venting. So let me get in here and see if I can actually rent some equipment to take care of my potatoes. I don't have anything potato wise, so I got to see if I can find something in here. So I'm not even sure what I'm looking for, but I'll show you what I found if I can find something for my potatoes here in a second. Hey Sim, I talked to a guy about doing the potatoes and I don't really know anything about potatoes, so this is what he told me. So the cheapest way that I could do this was to get this machine here, and what this does is it cuts the top of the potatoes off. So I rented this machine, and then this machine here will dig them out of the ground. Okay, so I rented this machine, and then you need something to pick them up with. So I went ahead and purchased a bucket for my forklift, or my my front forks. So I have this kind of universal bucket now. So those three pieces of equipment is supposed to be able to do everything that I need to do. So I'm not sure exactly how it's all going to go, but what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to put the cutter on the front and the digger on the back is what I'm thinking. I'm hoping this will work. That way I can cut and dig up at the same time. Never done this before, never done potatoes before. So I'm going to do that, and I'm going to take these two with me. And then if I'm able to dig up the potatoes, then I'll come back and get the bucket where I can then pull the potatoes up out of the ground. That's the idea. So I'm going to get this stuff back to the farm and see if I can figure out how to get these potatoes out of the ground. Okay, and let's just see how this works. Let's just go down through here. I don't know really what I'm doing, so it looks like it's working. I see potatoes, or I saw potatoes. Thought I saw potatoes on that thing. Hey Sam, so I talked to my neighbor, and there was a switch on this thing that you had to switch, and I didn't know about that switch. So I turned the switch on, and looks like I'm finally laying out potatoes here. So this looks like it's working pretty good. Not really for sure if I'm still doing it right or not, but seems to be working okay. Hey Sam, so I'm still out here in this little potato field, and I walked over, talked to my neighbor, and I was asking him about, the potatoes and, it being like, looking like this. And what he showed me was that in some areas that the old style digger that I'm using just isn't getting deep enough in the ground. And it's kind of interesting because you can look, and there'll be certain areas out here where like here there was potatoes picked up, but all along this strip right here there was no potatoes picked up through that strip. So he was telling me that that old digger that I have isn't really, you know, that good. So what I need to do is what he suggested that I do is go ahead and put the forks on and then scoop up these potatoes and put them, you know, in a wagon or put them in the silo over there. But you know, get rid of the front of this since all the tops are gone, and just as I'm picking up the potatoes that are on the ground, just keep running this one here on the back, and I'll actually dig up more than it's currently showing right now. And then in these places like this, what he was saying was, you know, go back and go in between these two, and you might actually pick up some more potatoes as well. But I got these patches that are just these massive patches where there's just not very many potatoes showing. So he's like, it's the efficiency of the equipment. So that's what I'm going to do right now. I'm going to disconnect both of these. I'm going to return the front one. I'm going to get my forks on my front loader and see what I can do from there. I'll get back with you and let you know how it all went. But this is kind of crazy. It's a lot of work. Make me feel like I'm chopping wood. It's a lot of work out here. Anyway, we'll talk to you in a bit. Hey, Sam. I finally figured out what I was doing with this thing. Come to find out, I just wasn't cutting the rows close enough. So although the little chopper thing chopped the rows down, I wasn't actually getting close enough between the rows to dig up the potatoes. So once I got all that figured out and knew what I was doing, it was just a matter of making a few passes and getting over there and getting it done. I'll tell you, just out here making these loops and digging up these potatoes and learning about potatoes from my neighbor, it's been a good distraction for me, man. I was all depressed earlier, you know, in the month, and I was just really just pissed off because of all the stuff that happened. But you know what? You know, the people out here over the last month have been super nice. They're just, you know, some of the nicest people you ever want to meet. Everybody's been super helpful. You know, and most of them learned, you know, that I was from out of town and I didn't have anything going on with what was going on here, and they've given me a chance to, you know, get to know them. And it's been actually a rewarding experience out here talking with these folks and learning about the community and what they're trying to do and how they're trying to preserve it. And as it turns out, you know, a lot of people really don't tattletale on each other a lot. It's really just there to keep foreigners in check, to keep visitors in check, to really, you know, keep the citizens. They all know, and they all want to be treated with respect, and they all treat each other with respect. So, you know, I was all judgmental about this system, but you know, it's just because I felt the negatives of it. And over the last months, you know, or at least I'd say over the last week or so since I've been harvesting these potatoes, once I've got off the little naughty list and understood I don't need to be, you know, going the wrong way on one ways and stuff like that, it's been okay. It's really been fine. Like I said, I all the people seem to be treating me fairly, and everybody seems to be getting along. And the guys who come out and disassembled everything was super respectful. And, you know, immediately when there was a mistake, when that crane fell over, when the guy drove in the ditch, I mean, like the next hour, like the owner of the company was coming out and apologizing and just going, you know, just super apologetic and really nice about the whole scenario, and they offered to rebuild them and, you know, so on and so forth. So it was just refreshing, and I think this is going to work for me. I think I'm going to be happy out here. But yeah, so the potato field has been pulled out of the ground, or at least potatoes been pulled out of the ground. Now I got to get them put up. But yeah, man, let me know how things are going over in your universe. I got a little bit of money in my pocket. If you need some money, let me know. I'm not sure what I'm going to spend it on as of yet, but hope you're doing good, brother. I'll talk to you soon. Or at least I'll talk to you next month. See you, bro.